So what is your theory? Tell me your theory, Amy.
No, I know that there's people who still enjoy the craft, and I know that there's people who still want to be in it for the right reasons. But I think with sort of the celeb-obsessed culture that we're in, I don't know that people really understand what they're getting into, sometimes.
As an actor, you mean?
As an actor, as a reality TV star, as anything.
Well, I think it's very hard, I think, for you guys, once things happen like this, for better and for worse. I mean, the amount of heat that's generated in a very small period of time, and then, you can go 3 years or 4 years without having that same kind of heat again, and it's like, you feel bad, or, the trap of the supporting actor has always been, the winners of the supporting acting trophies have been known for going and taking roles that really they really couldn't support in terms of their celebrity level and sell the movie. And kind of destroyed themselves, Kevin Spacey being the most known at the moment.
Well, I hadn't thought about that, but I think you're right. For me, I just think more about, the sort of, the way that people burn out. I don't think it has to do with shooting outside what you're capable of or what people are willing to accept you as. I think sometimes it's out of your control. Most times it's completely out of your control, and it doesn't matter what choices you make. I've learned that.
Well, it's funny. Certain relationships end up being like seem to be the fulcrum for a lot of people, and they make a relationship with a particular director, and then they're like a run of movies that is really their basis for everything.
Yeah, it's okay.
Do you think? I mean, your choices are still pretty eclectic. If you look at the list of pictures you're doing, do you have the mindset? Are you thinking money, money, money? Or not money, 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 but are you thinking...
That's what you're thinking.
That's what I'm thinking, apparently.
That's what you're thinking. No.
But do you think career? I mean, do you think, okay, I got to do this to get to the next thing, to have...
I really try not to think about that. I know that there's some strategy, but I really try to leave that to the people I work with.
That makes sense.
Because if I start thinking like that, I'll go crazy. I will go crazy if I'm like, okay, I need to do this to get this, because ultimately you could map out what you think are all the right choices, and then depending on how it's marketed, depending on how it's received, it can mean nothing ultimately. So I'm really trying to just pick things that I think will be growth opportunities for me as an actress, as a person. That's what I'm looking for, and we'll see. It might be foolish, and then I'll have to reconsider and start to be more savvy, but right now I just want to do as much as I can before the clock ticks down on my...
Before you hit 35.
Before
it's all over.
It's closer than you'd think. But, no, I think that's changing a little bit, which is good.
So what did you take away from Enchanted? What's the thing that you're going to most remember, or still not sure yet?
About Enchanted? It reminded me that I want to do stage again. I want to do musical theater. I really do. So in a little while, I have to train first, and that takes time, to really do it the way that I would want to do it. But from that whole experience, I really, it's such a silly story, but here it is. I was a dancer when I grew up. And I thought that I knew what I was talking about when I went into the dance rehearsals with Patrick Dempsey. So I was, I tried to be nice, but I was a bit of a know-it-all. I was like, I can do this. So you just work on what you need to work on. Well, he's actually a very good dancer. But once we started partnering, it was like, two bulls. I'm not moving, you're not moving. And finally we learned how, I lost a lot of toenails. I really did, because I refused to you're wanting me to step off the music, and I don't want to step then, and this ballroom expert came in to watch us a couple days before we did it. And he pulled me aside. And I was like, yeah, he's going to compliment me on my skills. And he didn't. He said, you are fighting him. I'm like, no, I'm letting him lead. He said, no, you're not. And he said, look, I get it. But what you need to remember is that you are dancing your own dance. You're just letting him lead you. You're just letting him guide you. And in a weird way, that sort of became a huge thing in relationships and friendships in my life. I really thought about it. I'm like, what else do I think I know about? And I think I'm letting the other person, guide me or lead me, when really I'm not. And for me it was letting go of control. And that little, we all have it, that little thing we hang on to, and we're like, okay, I'll let you have all of this, but I'm keeping this to myself. Well, what if I could still dance my own dance, still do things my way, but invite other people to be a part of that and to guide me and share with people who I really, it really made me think about myself.
Yeah.
I know it's,
I
forget how he phrased it exactly, but it was you still are dancing your own dance, even he's just telling you where to go, it was that kind of idea.
Which ironically is kind of a little bit what the movie's about.
It is. And it became this big thing, and I really think about that all the time.
That's lovely. Well,
thank you.
Thank you for still being sweet.
I've got my clock.
I know, you got to go to your TRL right away. Go, go, go.
I know.